Hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee cup, writer because badass miracle worker isn't a job description, actually came from my ex-husband. We have a friendly relationship because of our kids. We decided when we got divorced that the kids would not be weapons to use against each other and remained friends, even though we weren't really getting along, so to speak, at the time. Anyway, today's tea is Moroccan mint green tea. It is actually one of my favorites, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste on this really cold, overcast day. Winter needs to go now. But anyway, let's give it a taste. Just love getting that minty feeling, the taste of it, all of that towards the back end of the tea as it goes down. It's very warming. It's a tea that I tend to mix with other teas like my chocolate hazelnut to give that nice aftertaste. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite teas. Really, really good. Really, really good. Anyway, so today we are going to give a much more in-depth review of the Profusion products that I received, that I recently unboxed and have received. I've been playing around with them for about 2 to 4 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. And so it's time to let you know how I feel. And I'm actually completely set up for this. I put some primer on the back of my hand so I can show you the swatches a little bit better. But I am wearing it mostly today. The only place I'm not really wearing it, other than my foundation and powders and stuff, is on my lips. I'm testing out Tony Dash right now. And while I'm going to say that I'm testing out Tony Dash right now, I am going to give my viewers a caution. So far, I do like what I have tried from Tony Dash. But if you are going to go for the free makeup, which is what I did, do not... you may get an offer pop up that say, you could get this for free. Don't go for it. The unfortunate thing with Tony Dash is that if that offer pops up and you take it and you don't get it for free, which I suspect a lot of people won't, basically they will charge you on your order without any option to take it out. You accept the offer and it goes straight to, okay, you're done. Here's your order. And that offer is $19.99, so it's 20 bucks. And they don't warn you about that. And yes, this happened to me recently. I went back and picked up some more items and I was very unhappy about that. So I'm giving you a warning about that. If you go for the free makeup, do not, even if they offer it on the not free makeup, do not go for these other special offers, because you will get charged and will have no way to get a hold of them to remove it from your cart before they ship. So, just a warning, but that is what I'm testing on my mouth today. The rest of my face is my Profusion products. So there you go. If something doesn't show up on my arm, you can see that it does show up on my face. I am wearing their blush and their highlighter and their contour today. I am not wearing their mascara. Shame on me. But everything else is theirs. So let's get started. And let me say, first of all, I have three eyeshadow palettes. I have their Mixed Metals Peach. I have this little itty bitty pearl eyeshadow palette, which may or may not be theirs, but we're going to treat it like it's theirs. I haven't had any other complaints of stuff from the Style 21, I think is where I got that. And the Flawless palette. I do have little bits of all three of these on my face. I have 2 colors from the peach, I have 2 colors from the pearl, and I have like 3 colors from this. We're going to start with my favorite, which is the Flawless. My favorite part of this is the eyeshadows. You get 48 of them. These colors are gorgeous. You also receive a mascara, an eyebrow pencil, a pencil sharpener, want to do this without blinding you from that mirror, but we'll give this a try. 3 brushes and 5 eyeliners. So, gonna go with the stuff that I have the least amount of success with first, and that would be the eyeliners. These are actually too hard for me to, it's big. My biggest complaint about the whole thing is that it's very big. It is not something you can actually carry with you, even though it has the mini brushes in it. It is probably something you can pack and take with you like on a plane, but it's not a purse type palette. But let's get started with these eyeliners. These eyeliners are very pretty. They do have a decent amount of pigment in them. There's the silver. They are, however, still too hard. There's the blue. They are still too hard for me to use around my eyes. I have found I really, really need something very, very soft when I put something around my eye, something along the level of the Urban Decay 24/7. There's a peachy gold. The good news is, just because they're eyeliners doesn't mean you have to use them around your eyes. This is the last one. It's kind of a purpley, really dark purple. So those are the eyeliners. They are pigmented. I tend to use the black. I use the black for my brows. And the others I can use around my lips, or I can actually probably give them to my daughters too. They probably wouldn't mind them. But you don't have to use eyeliners around your eyes. So that's a good thing. But like I said, they're gorgeous in color. They're just too hard for me to use around my eyes. So I've chosen to use them in other ways. And I have found that to be pretty much, so far, pretty much across the board with the Profusion products. I would like to see them come up with a softer eyeliner that has the same kind of pigmentation. Next are these little travel brushes. They're okay. I find that, one, they're very long, and that's kind of a problem. I much prefer working with, you know, well, that goes in the crease. They don't have a round edge one like that. But for actually packing on shadows, I prefer a much shorter brush. And this probably wouldn't be a problem if they were not nearly as soft as they are, but these things are really soft. They do pick up. I can use them, say, under my brow. They do work for repair work. I have found that I can put them in my purse, in my little makeup kit thing that I have, and I can use them to do repair work because I do have a patch where I tend to lose shadow all the time. But as for initial application, they just actually don't really work for me. The next 3 items are the mascara, the eyebrow pencil, which is dual-ended, and the pencil sharpener. The pencil sharpener is a standard pencil sharpener. I haven't had issues with it. I have used it. It works just fine. Nothing special, really. I've mentioned before that I do like their eyebrow pencils. This one is off color for me. Even the brown is this is too light and a bit on the red side for me. But they are soft and it's very usable. It's just not a color for me, per se. Which is a risk when you get this kind of package thing. The mascara. The mascara is okay. It lengthens more than it thickens. It is a thicker formula. You can see the brush there. I like the brush. The color is beautiful. It is a touch clumpy, but that is easily repaired. I need 2 coats of it to get the kind of coverage I want for my lashes. But beyond that, it's it's not a favorite. The color is on par with my Urban Decay Perversion, which I really love. It just doesn't have the same fullness lengthening effect that I like, unless I use 2 coats, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's a decent mascara. I did find that one issue I had with it is that it tends to travel underneath my eyes, and I don't like that. That's the only thing about it I don't like. This will probably go to one of my girls, only because I have so many mascaras, and while it is a decent mascara, it is not a favorite mascara. So now let's get on to the stuff that I love, which is the eyeshadows. These eyeshadows are absolutely gorgeous, and they are highly pigmented. And as you can see, there's a beautiful range of colors. I'm wearing some of the greens today. I'm wearing couple of the lighter browns, and it really is just a beautiful palette. It has a mix of mattes and shimmers and satins. I'm trying to grab a whole bunch of different ones from here, not all that I'm wearing. And there you go. Highly pigmented and absolutely gorgeous. There are a few colors that don't work for me, but that's more of a skin tone problem than a problem with the shadows. It does have the problem of being a bigger, bulkier palette, which means it's a little harder to store. The number of colors can be a little overwhelming, but it is a beautiful palette. And honestly, even with the misses, for someone else, those eyeliners would probably work as eyeliners. I just don't like tugging at my eye. The mascara, like I said, is okay. The brow pencil is great. I think the shadows are worth the $20 that you would pay if you purchased this. This is a beautiful palette. I've really enjoyed using it. I will continue to keep it, and I will probably continue to use it, even though it's time for me to actually move on to testing something else. But yes, I highly recommend the Flawless palette. Really, it's a beautiful palette. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the Profusion Pearl eyeshadows. Like I said, I got these on, I think, Style 21. These are gorgeous shimmery shades. I'm trying to tilt this so you can see the shades. I think my only complaint about the palette itself is that, you know, we've got 3 pinks plus a kind of a rosy pink over here, and the 2 blues. I would have liked to see, you know, maybe this pink taken out and a green put in there. I would have liked to have seen one of the blues, maybe this blue taken out, and a yellow put in there. But other than that, the colors are beautiful. It is shimmery. The black is even gorgeous. It's a beautiful palette that I've had, again, great pigmentation. I've been very, very impressed with everything I've gotten from Profusion at this point. So there's those colors. There's 2 of them in there. I put them too close together. There's a lighter pink and the darker pink. But as you can see, again, very, very pigmented. They look like they'd be really powdery. There is some kickback, but there isn't a whole lot of fallout in my experience. But they are very, very beautiful. Very, very gorgeous. Another palette that I'm very happy with. Obviously, as a palette, I would more than likely just use this as a supplement, which is what I've done. I've actually used this black as my eyeliner today. But as a solo palette, it needs some other colors thrown in or some other help, unless of course you want to just go straight pink. But other than that, it's a beautiful palette. I really do like it, and I'm very glad I picked it up. So next on my list is the peach palette, the mixed metals peach palette. I think I said it right. As you recall, this actually came to me in a PR package. It included this palette. It included these blushes. And it included these 3 in the PR packet. I also think I got the highlighters in there. But we're going to just talk about the peach portion of that gift. This brush, I'm going to say really quickly, is a very nice brush. I actually really like it. It's got the shape I like to put into my crease. It's very sturdy. Yeah, really like the brush that came with that. The two biggest disappointments in that pack were these, and it had nothing to do with the quality of them. As with the other eyeliners, this lip liner in rose gold, peach, yeah, matte peach, it's actually a decent liner, has decent color. It's just not good for my skin tone. And the same with this particular liquid lip. Again, pretty color, highly pigmented. It just, if it didn't have that glitter to it, it literally would just disappear on my skin. Do like them. They are pigmented. They do work. They just aren't for my skin tone. One of my daughters has already claimed these, so I'm going to be giving those back to her. Next, we have that Mixed Metals Peach palette. This was a bit of a mixed bag, but again, it was, I think, some of its colors. I believe one of the pans, I did have issues with the actual pigmentation. It is a gorgeous palette. Comes with a nice mirror. This is very sturdy plastic rather than cardboard, which I also thought was nice. My two favorite colors are this middle one, which is called Certain, and this one right here, which is called Bordeaux. I like to use this brown color, which is called Special, for eyelining sometimes. It does have a strong kind of vanilla scent that I didn't notice when I first opened it, but has since I've become very aware of it. Most of the colors are pretty pigmented. I do have some issues with the ones on the top, which could be, those are the top three, which could be something of a skin tone issue more than anything. Although I did find that this middle color Wannabe comes off a bit patchy on me, even if I can get it to show up. This color, I just have trouble getting to show up because of my skin tone. Outspoken, Certain, Outgoing. I haven't used Outgoing. What I really love on this palette is the metals. That is the Certain color right there. This is Outgoing, and this is Outspoken. I don't use Outgoing. I think Outgoing is a lot like the colors on the top in that the fact that it's just, obviously I can get it to show up on my skin, but it's a color that I'm not going to use very often. But the other two are just, they're gorgeous. The whole palette is beautiful. I really wish that the colors that don't show up, I could get the colors that don't show up on my skin to show up. And I am so sorry. I seem to just be tripping over my words today. Let's get this last row in, which includes Special, Bordeaux, and Crimson. I think I've used Crimson once or twice. I'm running out of arm. Again, gorgeous colors. The metallic is a beautiful shimmery shine, highly pigmented, beautiful, beautiful. I have to admit that I haven't been using this palette as much as the Flawless or the Small Pearl, but it is still a gorgeous palette. It is still one that I think I will use in the future. And of course, these two colors right here, the ones that I've mentioned before, I've used them most of all, and I've enjoyed it. I really like it. Highly recommend it. The whole package, I'm not sure what the cost of the whole package is. Somewhere around $10. It could be higher, a little lower. And I think that the whole package, because the whole package comes with the lip and the whole thing, the brush, the palette, and I think the whole package is definitely worth the cost. It's very pigmented. It's very beautiful. So if you're into peach kind of things, this is definitely for you. Now we're going to get into the other items. This blush came in my PR kit, and this highlight came in my PR kit. And I bought the contour when I purchased the items for the giveaway. Again, great color, great pigmentation. They show up well. I tend to be partial to this kind of peachy brown and this kind of mauvey wine in this particular palette. This palette is just a touch powdery, not a lot, but it is pigmented and it is probably going to last me a long time. I have to find a spot to show these off. These are going to go on a spot that I do not have any primer on. But again, beautiful colors, highly pigmented. The whole palette is like that. I like that even this bright pink right here, it's kind of a salmon-y color. It's called Juicy. Even this color, it's coming up a little washed out in this light. But even that color, I can find a use for basically I will mix blushes the way I mix my lipstick sometimes. So, like today, I mixed the wine with well, this wine is called Great, and this peachy brown is called Playful, and I mixed them today for my blush. So I will do that sometimes. Again, very pigmented. I think this is $6 to $8, something like that. Worth it. I have another palette from a company that I love, NYX, that has, I think, 8 colors in it. And it's quite a bit more expensive. It's like $14, I believe. And this is about half that. And you get, even though you only get 6 colors, you get probably about as much product. And it shows up just as well. So highly recommend, especially if you're on a budget and you want a lot of choices at a low cost. This is a beautiful palette, highly recommended. Cleaning my arm, and you can see some of these colors do not want to let go. Alrighty, cleaned up my arm, put on some other primer so that we can talk about the last 2 items that I've received. I received the highlight palette with my PR, and I purchased the contour palette when I picked up all the items for the giveaway that just ended. The highlight palette, this is again sturdy plastic. There's no cardboard here. It has a mirror. Both these palettes actually come with a brush that I don't keep. It's not a type of brush that I would use. My only complaint about the highlight palette so far is that while it's not developing hard pan, it is getting some kind of pebbling on it. It's still usable. I am wearing Jolly and Dreamy today, so Jolly and Dreamy, with a touch of Charming over the top. I really like that there's so many beautiful colors in here. So many options that more than just me could use it. As you can see, they have a beautiful glow to them. I like mixing them up. I have a number of other highlighters, and other than my Milk, which in Supernova is a really bright purple, and I don't wear it often because it is purple, this has become my favorite highlighter to use. I love having the colors to mix, match, and use as I want. As you can see, like I showed you, it is very pigmented. It is glowy. It does not reach supernova levels. It does not. It's not outer. I have yet to get it to outer space glowy. I did experiment and try to do that. It's not something I do with my skin because I have so much texture. And overusing the highlight tends to reveal all that texture. So it's not something that I would do, but I did attempt it for you guys, and it doesn't get that bright. It does get bright. You can build it up, but it's not going to be seen in outer space type bright. So, but it's a beautiful palette. Again, I believe these are like $7 or $8, and well, it might be 10. I can't remember, but they are very worth it to me. This is something that's going to last me a while, and it's something that I'm going to probably keep using more than most of my other highlighters. The contour is kind of mixed for me. It is the same sturdy packaging, same thing with a mirror, same thing with coming with a brush. I think my issue here, you can see I've hit pan on one of them already. They're not part of my project pan, but I've already hit one. I think my issue is the colors. They included 2 highlighters in here. A beige highlight, which has no shine, and then the shimmer highlight, which actually has shine. This brown is very, very cool. It does work, but I do need to mix it and go very light with it. And obviously this has become one of my favorite colors. So when this is gone, I'm not going to be using the rest of this that much. And I really wish that they had, instead of putting in the 2 highlights, I really wish they had continued just more of a contour shades, more brown shades to continue that line and give me more to work with. These colors, like the highlights, are also very good. There is at least one that doesn't really show up on my skin. But again, decent pigmentation, great for contour. You can use the deeper color to get that sharper color, the lighter colors if you want something more natural, at least if you're my skin tone. I believe these 2 middle colors would probably work well as an actual deep contour on somebody with a lighter skin tone. And you can see the highlights there, which I don't use actually. I have used the shimmer once or twice, but they aren't why I got the packaging. So while I would say that this is worth the price, I would make sure that the highlight is something that you want in there and that you would want to use. Because this, to me, out of the 2, was of the lesser value in terms of what I got for the price, and how much I'm going to be able to use it. I have other contours that I really like, so when this is gone, I'm probably not going to miss it, whereas this one I will probably end up missing it because this is beautiful, and I'd probably repurchase this. So that's it for the Profusion products I have. I'm actually really impressed overall. This was my first time using Profusion, and I'm very pleased with them. I recommend their products at this point. I am going to attempt at some point to pick up some more of their lipsticks so I can give you a much more knowledgeable review on their lip products, because while the peach ones were nice because of the color issues I had with them, the melding basically without the shine, you wouldn't have seen this. You don't see this on my skin when I wear it. I don't think I didn't wear them that much. I wore this more as a topper over other colors that I wanted to bring more light to, or that I wanted to lighten up more than anything. So I don't think I really can talk to their lip products all that much at this point. I need to try some of the other ones before I can give you a much better review, a much better just a much better review of they are. I swear today, I swear I can talk. I'm just having all kinds of issues apparently. So now that my Profusion review is done, I've used it for several months, it's time to move on to something else. And I'm going to move on to my Makeup Revolution, which is going to include this Soph X palette. I really want you guys to see these, because the last time I showed this, I didn't have the ring light, and all my browns look like the same color brown. And as you can see, they are not all the same color brown. There is a lot of brown in here, I will say that. But like, I do not have this pretty purple anywhere else. I do not have this green anywhere else. And it's just got some really gorgeous colors in it. And I'm looking forward to playing with that. That will also include my Dragon Heart highlight. Isn't that beautiful? I've actually already played with the pinks and reds and just a little bit, and I'm going to have to see how I can use that, because on your cheeks, no. And the other thing I have is, from them, is this No Photos Please. It's another very pretty palette that I got on sale. Gorgeous colors. I have to say already, the one thing I don't like is the fact that the pan sizes are so narrow, but it's a nice compact palette. I do think, even though it's all shimmers, it's something I could probably use for an all-in-one look and I could take with me. But as long as the color that I use on the inner part of my eye is something that I can take in my purse, I'm happy. Also, we'll be trying the eye primer. As I don't know if you haven't seen the tax stash opening, you should take a look. I will link it down below. But this stuff is shimmery, so we will see how this works. I showed this to my daughter and she agreed with me. This is more like a highlight, but we will give it a shot as an eye primer and see what happens. And then, like I said, I've just started using my Tony Dash stuff. So those are my items that I will be reviewing for the next few weeks, along with testing for the next few weeks, along with obviously my subscription boxes. And in a few weeks, I'll give you a much more expansive review of the items. And I guess that's it for today, letting you know where we're going. One other thing I have to mention. If you've noticed through this video, there's a bit more pink on this side. Up in the corner, you can see a little pink. It's because we have our plants in. I did post a small video talking about putting the plants together. I've got everything all put together now, and we have the grow lights on them, and more than likely for at least a month or so, you're going to see a lot of pink on this side. It does adjust the color of my face a little bit. I'm telling you, it is very distracting trying to color correct when you've got pink coming in on this side. But anyway, yeah, that was fun. So we're done for today. I'm going to stop blabbing in your ear and stumbling around and all that other stuff. I hope you have had a rockin' good day, and do come back and join us again with your cup of tea.